Another day, another Suns W. Let's celebrate. Everybody, welcome into another episode of PHNX Suns podcast, post-game edition. Another night of sexy sex because the Phoenix Suns took down the Detroit Pistons 105-97 in their second preseason game of the new NBA season. You feeling good, Gerald?
I feel fantastic. It's a new era.
I know, right?
It's an entirely new era.
Ooh,
you can
buddy.
just feel it.
Yes,
I love it.
You can. You can feel the good vibes. You can feel the joy. You can feel the sexy sex. Am I right?
You can definitely feel it. Somewhere Espo is dancing right now.
There you go. Where's Espo? He's dancing somewhere, but he's not here with us tonight. But we got you covered. Yes. We're going to talk through this entire game. First and foremost, I want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling after Sunday night's game?
I was feeling at like an 8.
Okay, and where are you now?
I'm at like an 8.5.
Okay.
I'm still like, it's still preseason, but everything that we saw in the first preseason game, we saw again tonight. We saw the high 3-point attempts. We saw the rookies play well. We saw a lot more movement and purpose and intention on offense. And all of that, it's easy to write off in one preseason game. A second preseason game, getting a little bit tougher for me to say, okay, it's just preseason. It still is, but I am cautiously optimistic about everything that I'm seeing, the style of basketball this team is playing with, and hopefully what they're going to be able to do once the real games start coming on.
I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here or be mean or anything and keep pointing back to last season or whatever, but in these two preseason games, it feels like there has been more of a plan and purpose than there felt like there was all of last season combined almost. I know I'm being dramatic with this statement.
I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but these two preseason games, I felt more than I did all last season.
I think we're just feeling joy. I think we're just feeling joy again, which is a big deal. Like that's not a small
you're gonna tell me though that like the joy last season was not so just like barely sprinkled on?
I think it was like,
and this is the first two preseason games. It has been nothing but joy.
I think it has been nothing but joy, but it has been ultimately. No, you can have it. I think we overinflated how miserable last season was.
Okay, maybe.
It wasn't enjoyable for the most part, but yes, no, there's, it's not just that like the guys seem to be in a good mood because the games haven't started yet and all that stuff. The style of play that they're playing with, it looks fun. It looks like they are having a lot more fun than they did last year. And as much as that might not matter to the average fan, it definitely matters to the way that we absorb the game, because when they're playing like that and they're getting up all these threes and they're, playing so well, it's just easier as a fan to like want to be a part of that and enjoy that and consume that. And we didn't get very much of that last year. It just felt so disjointed and like uphill the whole time.
Yeah. And I mean, I think you, like you said, you can see it with them too. And that rubs off on us as fans too, right? There is it again, not to get too far ahead of myself here. I am very aware 2 games into the preseason, okay? But just, again, let me have this.
Hey, Ryan Dunn made me feel something.
Right?
Okay?
You were about to make proclamations after that.
I told everybody I was ready to say some very, very irresponsible things about Ryan Dunn on this postgame show because of how good he looks so far and how he looks so good in the ways that you didn't expect him to.
Yeah.
So I feel you, Lindsay. I'm excited too. It's balancing both. It's understanding that, hey, it's preseason. It is what it is. But at the same time, take joy in the small victories, like having rookies who you can get excited about, or taking more threes, or winning the turnover battle. Like these things matter.
Yes.
Maybe not as much in preseason, but they still matter.
But here's the thing too, like Normac in the chat said, the style of play will translate the whole regular season. This is how they will play. Will the efficiency from the rookies continue? I don't know. Here's the thing, though. Even if there are ebbs and flows as far as the rookies go throughout the season, we still have something to be excited about with them because we have youngins. We got youth to invest in long-term, hopefully, is the goal here with these two guys. Yeah. And they're already showing us flashes of excitement. So regardless of the ups and the downs that are inevitably going to come with a rookie season because they're rookies. Like at the end of the day, we have to remember they're rookies.
Right.
But we can still enjoy that part of it, the development part that we haven't had for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting when rookies do something. And now we have 2 of them for the first time in like 4 years, which is super exciting. There's just a different energy when those guys go out and do something. Get a like up in the chat for the rookies if you like what you saw tonight, because those guys are living up to everything that we've heard coming out of training camp at media day, that like these rookies are not your typical rookies. And you feel like every team probably has guys that come out and say that about their first year players, but we're starting to see it now, which is, it feels like a different animal than what we've had here lately. So that's exciting.
Yeah, we'll dive deeper into the rookies a little bit later on in the program. But first, let's take an overview of this game by looking inside the box, presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes.
What's in the box?
What's in the box is a 105-97 win over the Pistons. That probably should have been a lot more, but in garbage time, kind of got a little bit closer there. The Suns shot 45% overall to the Pistons 41% on the threes. Holy crap, you guys.
The threes.
46 3-point attempts. They only made 14 down the stretch. The Suns took a couple of threes that made their percentage a little bit worse, only shot 35%. Pistons only got up 33 threes and shot 30%. Man, it is nice to be on the other side of the equation where one team is taking 10 plus more threes than the other. Steals and blocks. This one was interesting to me. The Suns had 20 combined steals plus blocks. The Pistons only had 10. That Ryan Dunn guy, he's out there wreaking havoc.
He's pretty good, huh?
Turnovers. We talk about turnovers a lot on this program. Pistons had 20, Suns only had 13. And then the points in the paint, we mentioned this last game. This is going to be an area where the Suns will need to be a little bit better. Only 30 points in the paint for the Suns, 42 for the Pistons. But again, we want them to be taking a high percentage of their shots from three. 46 of their 87 shot attempts tonight were from beyond the arc, which, I mean, Monty and Frank Vogel would be rolling over in their graves right now if they saw that here. That's crazy.
46, Gerald.
It's insane.
That's insane.
That's nuts. Those are Boston Celtics numbers.
Like, what are we doing? I'm so here for it, too. And the best part about it, too, is that, like, okay, Devin was 0 for 6 from 3. I don't care. It's preseason. I literally don't care. He kept shooting them.
Right.
And that's what I wanted to see. Like, just give us more.
Yes.
One of them will eventually go in at some point in time, even if it's the next game. I don't care. And the other thing, too, is it doesn't feel like they're forcing it.
No.
Right? It's coming naturally. The ball movement, the player movement, it all looks really good and it's paying dividends.
Yeah. No, it looks like nothing is forced. Like it's one thing if they were to come out here and just jack up a bunch of bad shots, but it does feel like everything's coming within the flow of the offense. There are some that they're taking in transition, but you want to be taking those threes. There was one that Tyus Jones, they had a fast break and he pulled up before the 3-point line like it was lava or something and he made it. And that speaks to the mindset that Mike Budenholzer is ingraining in this team. Like if you have an inch of space, if you can let that fly, do it. And we've heard Monty and Frank Vogel say, we want to shoot more threes, let it fly, all this stuff. But now we're actually seeing it in action. And again, it's 2 preseason games, but you can just see a different shift. You can see the big three is bought in with how many threes Kevin Durant got up. I think 6 of his 12 shot attempts were from beyond the arc. The other night, half of Devin Booker's were from beyond the arc. He took 6 threes, didn't make any, but 6 of 13 shot attempts from 3. These guys are buying in to what Budenholzer was preaching. That was one of our biggest concerns coming into the season. And so far, it looks like they are living it.
And I even yesterday was hesitant to like fully get on board with like, are we going to revert back though come regular season? Like they're the mid-range assassins for a reason. Like they're phenomenal in that midi game. I don't know. Now I'm feeling a little bit better about leaning into it. Yeah. And letting the overreaction completely consume me.
We're getting closer. I will say that like Lakers in preseason and, you know, the Pistons in general.
I know.
I can't give too much to it yet, but they are trying to do that. I think better defenses will do a better job of limiting them because 46 attempts is insane, but they clearly have a plan in mind and it's working so far.
Yeah.
I think it's really important. With the preseason, it's just about process.
Mm-hmm.
And you look back to last season, it was what got them down. Well, it felt like there wasn't a good process for them to follow. There was just roll the ball out and play basketball.
Right.
It doesn't matter who they're playing or how many shots they hit right now because, again, it's preseason game 2.
Mm-hmm.
There is already an identity. There's a process, and it's a process that has been shown to lead to at least deep playoff success and sometimes championships.
Yeah.
There's never been a question about the talent level of this roster. It's about can they put it all together, and it's really encouraging from a fan perspective to see them taking threes and to see them buying in when it doesn't matter.
Right.
So then when it does, that feels like it's even going to be a step up more.
Yeah.
In my opinion. They might go back in the regular season and shoot middies, but I don't think so.
Let's roll with yours. I'm good with yours.
Me
Yeah,
too. I want to roll with that.
Stick with the
Let's
first
do
thing.
that. Yeah.
Let's stay there. Live in that zip.
But I think that was one thing that was a little bit nerve-wracking or kind of scary, I suppose, if you were a Suns fan this offseason. And one of the reasons why it was kind of hard to really get excited for this upcoming season is that, you know, in a way we did run it back, if you will, quote unquote, with obviously the big 3 and whatnot. And there's, you know, everyone's been talking like on paper, yes, the Suns are good. And you have the talent of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. You are automatically in that conversation, but we're just unsure after last season what it's going to look like, what it's going to be. And now we're starting to see glimpses, hopefully, of what it will be. And it's kind of hard not to let yourself get a little excited about things and what the future could be for the season.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if you look through the first 2 preseason games, we haven't had, like in the first game, Booker was really good. Beal was just okay. Kevin Durant really struggled. Tonight, Kevin Durant was really good. Beal was better. And Booker kind of struggled.
Yeah.
We haven't had a game where like the big 3 just came out guns blazing and it was like, oh yeah, these are our superstars. This is what the team was built around. The encouraging part that we've seen from the preseason so far to me is the complementary pieces have shown what they're going to be able to do. And when you combine what they've been doing with what we expect the big 3 to do on a night in, night out basis once the season starts, like that's the part that I'm like, this team still has another gear to go because, you know, obviously they're only playing, 15, 20 minutes a game in preseason. But once things start getting serious and these guys start playing like the superstars and the stars that we know them to be, that's when this team can really turn it up another notch.
Well, yeah, and there's a complete difference in the way that Cade, Book, and Beal and the veterans on the squad approach a preseason game compared to Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro, as there should be, right? Like,
yeah.
And some of the other guys too, like they're out there trying to prove themselves. They're fighting to get maybe that one leg up on the other guy for more minutes or a spot in the rotation or whatever it may be. When you look at the more veterans, this is kind of just like getting into game ready shape almost, if you will, and like running through the motions of things. Not that they don't take it seriously, but there's just different levels to this type of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We can't talk about the threes. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here.
Okay.
But we can't talk about threes. We're talking about that one specific. We could dive deeper into threes from Ryan Dunn. But are you kidding me? I think the entire Suns universe almost exploded when Ryan Dunn hit that transition pull-up 3 after swiping it away from Cade Cunningham. What?
That was nuts. That was a surreal moment. I think I floated outside my body and looked down and was just watching in amazement when he did that because that's confidence that speaks to the work ethic that we've been talking about with him. And B, like, if this kid can hit threes at even a semi-respectable rate, the defense that we've been seeing through these first 2 preseason games is exactly what we're going to come to expect from him.
Well,
yeah.
And it's not just that he's hitting threes. He's hitting tough shots.
Right.
Contested shots. On the break, top of the key pull-up threes. Again, I'm going to say irresponsible things about Ryan Dunn.
Oh, boy. Here we
Hold
go.
on for that.
This dude's insane. Okay,
I'm going to let you say
guy.
your irresponsible things about Ryan Dunn in here in just a minute. So you guys are going to have to stay tuned for that. But first, we're going to take a quick break. to remind you that Gila River Resorts and Casinos has an unprecedented level of entertainment that you will not find anywhere else. No one does it better than our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Whether you are just looking for some rest and relaxation on maybe a staycation, if you're looking to play one of the over 4,500 slots and live table games they have, or if you want to catch all the actions at any of their sports books, the best place to do it is at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, because you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You can visit playatgila.com for more details. And also be sure to keep an eye out throughout the Sun season, because we will be hosting events there all year long. Cardinals already are hosting events for their season there, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. You can always find all the information at gophnx.com/events, but be sure to check out our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Also, if you are in the market for new flooring, no one does it better than Empire Today. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right products for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. And if you're one of those people who needs to see it before you're able to commit to it, guilty. The floor visualizer from Empire Today is going to be your best friend. You can check it out at empiretoday.com/PHNX, so you can quite literally see what new floor is going to look like in your home and in your space. They've got everything you need. They've got the best professionalism you can find, and right now you can schedule a free in-home estimate today, and you can receive a $350 off discount when you use the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for all the details. Okay, let's continue talking about our guy Ryan Dunn.
Let's do it.
Are you how surprised are you about the threes, right? Because I genuinely did not expect this in the first two preseason games from Ryan Dunn. His confidence feels like it's through the roof right now when it comes to that.
It does, and it's taking threes in transition. He took one that was a step back off the dribble today. He's not hesitating at all, and you hear guys say things like that, but then on the court, it can sometimes be a different story. So the fact that he is coming out here and taking 5 threes tonight, he took 6 the other night. Yes, it's going to matter that he continues to hit them and not just take them. But so far, process wise, the stroke looks good. The confidence is up. He's put in the work. So it's hard not to feel optimistic about the 3 ball right now. I know it's only 2 preseason games. I don't want to get ahead of myself because there will be ebbs and flows. Most rookies hit what's called the rookie wall at some point around midway through the season. That's a very real thing. But I can't complain about anything right now. I had no expectations that he would be coming out, taking this many threes, showing this confidence, and actually hitting some of them, and off the dribble in transition, on a fast break. What is happening here?
What is this like? What dimension did we enter into prior to preseason starting?
We heard the Suns say that he showed a lot of things in workouts, but you can kind of just assume a lot of the time, okay, he was really good defensively. He did everything else, and they have faith that the shot will come along. The shot is already in the process of coming along.
Yeah, and
it's arriving.
On Sunday night, he was 2 of 6 from deep. 2 of 5, really. That last one, we're just not going to count it entirely.
We can't change the numbers. But.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. It's whatever. And then 3 of 5 tonight. In no way, shape, or form did I expect in the first 2 preseason games, one, for Ryan Dunn to attempt 11 threes, let alone make 5 of them. I would have guessed maybe 2 to 3 each game at most, and make one of them.
I tweeted this out. He has made 5 threes in 2 preseason games. In 35 games at Virginia, he made 7 threes total. It's insane.
The thing about Virginia is not an offensive-minded basketball team.
No.
At all. In fact, they play some of the ugliest, most lockdown basketball in college. Mm-hmm. And he was the 3rd leading scorer on that team. But the thing that always struck me was, I knew people were out on his jump shot, but it never looked bad.
No.
He didn't have a Michael Kidd-Gilchrist type jump shot. It looked good. And he always had the confidence, and we heard a bunch of people talk about how hungry he was to get better. The thing is, if he can hit threes like this, which I understand it's 2 games through preseason, and you can't rely on this to be replicated through 82 games. I think there's a strong chance that he is in contention to be the first guy off the bench and to even be the spot starter if somebody is injured, especially somebody like Kevin Durant, because his athleticism, his defense, his intangibles, as we saw against Cade Cunningham, if he can do, 70% of what he's been shooting from three as far as volume and percentage goes over these last couple of games, that is a really scary NBA player as his first year rookie. What's going to happen the next couple of years? Like, that's so exciting.
Right. We've talked a lot about the defense, but to your point, Eric, like, he has improved the handle as well. Like, the ability to just dribble up the court in transition is something that we only saw on like fast break scenarios. And for him to come up the court, measure up the situation, take that pull up three, like he's also done some things with the handle that I haven't really seen much at Virginia either. And yes, it's their defense is so smothering that sometimes it smothers their offense over at Virginia. But these are all things that he's clearly been working on improving. So that is really encouraging, because the athleticism, the defense, those are the size, those are all things that this Suns team really needs.
So Andy in the chat said, I think Dunn accepted the challenge and worked hard on his shot. Lucky for us, he picks things up quick, and KD seems to love him. Bees also said approach with caution, but we're lying if he hasn't shattered our projected ceiling for his offensive potential.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's being shattered.
You're
as
not
we
wrong.
speak.
But defensively, though, too, like, even though we knew kind of more what we were going to get in that area from Ryan Dunn, it still has been great to see.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been having some tough assignments. Granted, again, it's only preseason, but he has been thrown at some really good, solid players so far, defensive assignment-wise.
It's been LeBron. It's been Cade Cunningham. That's really been impressive. And if he can just continue to get up those reps on the three ball, like his shot, the release of it can still be a little inconsistent from shot to shot in terms of the mechanics of it. But as he continues to take those reps, I think those things will be ironed out, because it is not a bad looking shot at all.
Yeah. All right. We do have a super chat here that we will get to from Rudy. Thank you, Rudy. They said, my overreaction. Dunn will get 30 minutes a night, shoot 40% from three.
Oh, man.
On a serious note, our identity should be that of a scrappy team that gets steals and runs in transition. That will be our defense for the season. Yes. Okay. So that's Rudy's overreaction. Eric, what's your overreaction after you saw that three?
Ryan Dunn might be the greatest son of all time. No, I think that's a good overreaction if we're making sure that we know that is an overreaction. Hopefully at some point in his career, Ryan Dunn can play 30 plus minutes a game. And if he hits 40% from three with his defense, we're talking an all-star.
Right.
We're not talking a good role player fit along Devin Booker. We're talking about somebody to help Devin Booker enter the next era of his career.
Right.
And it's preseason game 2. I'm going to continue to say that, but I'm going to say it with a smile on my face, because at least we have this. We have a moment to look at, and if his jump shot doesn't look great during the season, to me, I'll still have more faith that it's going to work out now, because in some sort of game setting, we saw him shoot it well and confidently, and it looks like the coaching staff is going to enable him to be his best self. And maybe that's what happened at Virginia, where he was only enabled to do certain things on offense, and that didn't translate to the tape, didn't translate to the draft, but helped the Suns get a steal. So it all works out.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony Bennett. We love you.
Shout out to us, a.k.a. the Suns front office, for doing a really good job in the draft this season.
Wait a second. Sean R. in the chat. What do you think about the nickname The Dungeon for Ryan Dunn?
That's fantastic, Sean R. We're going to start using that moving forward.
That's great.
Put him in the dungeon.
I love that.
Yep, that's good.
I'm not entirely bought in, but I'll try.
How?
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. It just feels
it's perfect.
It feels weird.
Come on.
I don't know.
Why?
Written wise, I get it.
In
it
the
works.
dungeon.
The dungeon?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nah. That's like McHale with the warden. Like, you're entering the dungeon.
I never really loved that one either.
You just don't like good nicknames, though.
Maybe. I don't know. I'll lean. I'll try.
How do you feel about the Count of Monte Cristo?
It's fine.
How do you feel about Slim Reaper?
I love that one.
Okay, there we go. That's
that one's
great.
great.
That's a good one.
I'll work on it. I'll try and get more bought into it. But in the meantime, let's talk about Oso Ighodaro, because we also saw some more great things from Oso in his game tonight. So he finished with 6 points. He also had 2 blocks in there, 4 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 of 5 from the field. For me, the thing with Oso is that, like, there's like zero hesitation.
No.
He knows what he's going to do and he's committed to doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that is like steps ahead of oftentimes many rookies, especially rookies who were taken where he was taken. You usually have more of a learning curve of like, am I doing the right thing? Am I supposed to be doing this? Like, okay, I'm going to do it. Yeah. He's like, I've already made up my mind 3 plays ago.
No, he processes the game so quickly. And this is something that I talked about in my season preview of Oso over at gophnx.com. But like his playmaking, his passing ability, yes, it's very good for a big guy, but it feels like he's a step ahead of the defense every time. And it feels like whenever he catches the ball in the elbow or on the perimeter, and he's surrounded by players that have good basketball IQ, they know to back cut because they know that Oso is going to find them. And that alone is good for, 2, 4, 6 points every night because you're going to catch defenders sleeping on those backdoor cuts every now and then. He's just such a smart player. Like he has such a high basketball IQ. And again, this is going to be the overreaction with Dunn is that he's going to be, a near 40% shooter, that the 3 is real. The overreaction with Oso is that he's going to take Mason Plumlee's spot in the starting lineup or in the bench lineup. I'm not sure that's going to be an overreaction in a couple months. I'm cautiously optimistic because when he comes in here, there's a difference in athleticism. The playmaking is incredible. It just feels like when him and Ryan Dunn check in, they just have an immediate tangible impact. And you don't always get that out of bench players. Mason has looked kind of out of sorts so far in the preseason, but I think it's because he's been kind of thrust into this starting role with guys that he doesn't know that well yet. Yeah. I think you put him in a bench role with Monte Morris, who he played with for 3 years in Denver. He'll be better. But I do think that Oso brings a lot to the table that maybe even a vet like Mason doesn't.
I will say, since you brought up Mason Plumlee.
Yes.
I have seen a little bit of already leaning into
it's too early.
Passing of the torch of what happened to the person in that spot last season. Let's just pump the brakes for 5 minutes on that one.
Right.
Give him a chance. I know we're all excited about Oso and the potential that he could maybe take over some of those minutes or that spot entirely. But like, let's not turn our backs on any of the guys just yet.
Right.
Like it's 2 preseason games. I'm overreacting in a positive way, but from a negative way, let's not overreact until like, I don't know, 2 months into the regular
Give it a couple
season.
months. Give it a couple months.
I'll take 2 weeks at the very least. 2 weeks into the regular season at least.
It's going to be opening night. He's going to shoot like 1 for 3 and people are going to be freaking out.
But let's just pump the brakes on that one a little bit. But I am really excited about Oso and what we continue to see from him. Somebody in the chat said... Where did it go? Oh, Nate. Nate said, I don't know if he already knows what he's going to do, but he's confident in every play, never lost or unsure of his moves. 100%. Nate is being a little bit facetious on the already knows what he's going to do, but it's the commitment to it that I think is what will be a positive to him. And he seems like he learns so fast too. So even if he commits to the wrong thing and makes a mistake, I know he's going to take it and he's going to put it in his back pocket and continue to learn from it. But again, the confidence and the lack of hesitation is still so key.
So when we did overreactions after game 1, Nate was in the chat and said, overreaction, Oso Ighodaro is the best passing big man on this team. And we had a good conversation about it. And what he said was, seems like he's the most naturally gifted at finding and making those passes, and that Nurk and Mason Plumlee are really good at that because they're veterans and experience. So even if he's not the best passer right now, he seems like the most naturally gifted ball movement oriented center that this roster has, which is great for this season, but also next season and hopefully many seasons after that.
Yeah, he had mentioned, and this was something that I had in my written season preview, that he's been learning from Mason Plumlee, from Yusuf Nurkic, and he's kind of marveled at their processing speed, their ability to make these plays because they've been in the league for so long. I think by the end of this year, he will be on that same level because he just does have that natural processing speed and ability to read the game already. And once he gets more familiar with NBA defenses and, his teammates too, I think it's going to make a huge difference. He's going to be a monster on that end.
Okay, I think it's fair to say that in the first 2 preseason games, the rookies have exceeded our expectations for what we were hoping to see from them.
Yes.
But even with that being said, what else are you wanting to see from these guys in the next 2 preseason games from them? What do you want to see them build upon? Or is there anything else that you're like, now that you've done all this, let me just add on to the pile and ask if you could do this next?
Just more of the same. I just want to see more. I want to see Ryan continue to take threes and continue to make plays on the defensive end. I want to see more of the shot blocking that he brings to the table because that's always exciting. And then for Oso, just keep doing it. He's just such a well-rounded player that like there's not a whole lot that I feel like they need to be doing differently. Just keep on doing what you're doing. I think more attempts at the rim. I would like to see Ryan Dunn get out in transition because he is deadly in transition. He is very athletic. I would like to see, more pick and rolls, more rim running from Oso. But again, we've seen a lot of this stuff. I just want to keep seeing more of it because again, when these guys come in, they make a tangible impact and it does have an effect on a crowd. Just that excitement of, man, these rookies are good. It just brings something different to the table that no one outside of Bol really brings.
Yeah. All right. Eric, can you do me a favor?
Depends on what the favor is.
Can you put the dungeon as a poll in the chat?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
It's happening.
I tweeted from our PHNX Suns account as well.
Let's do
the
it. Let's do a poll in the chat. Just to kind of get a gauge. You ask a 100% yes or keep workshopping.
We'll do 3 options. 100% yes, like it, don't love it, and next nickname.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
We're not going to do much better than that. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'm starting to lean into it a
little
bit more. I'm starting to lean into it now. Okay. Now that we've talked through some things, I've had a minute to sit on it.
Think about being able to scream that at your TV when he locks down Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with the game on the line.
Do it.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you just entered the dungeon. Does that not get you juiced? Because that gets me juiced.
There's a little juice there. There's some juice there.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Eric's going to put a poll in the chat for you, and we will revisit the results of that poll here in just a little bit, but we are going to take a quick break real quick, and we'll be right back to talk about Kevin Durant. So here's the thing, Gerald. I looked on Bet365 after tonight, not even after tonight's game. I looked after the 3. Okay, right. I looked after the transition pull-up from Ryan Dunn, and I was like, can we put money on Ryan Dunn for Rookie of the Year? I know we were all getting a little crazy on Suns Twitter, but heck, why not? Unfortunately, he's not on there, but we are going to make a call and see if we can maybe get him on there. The odds will be insane for him, for sure. Maybe we're throwing down like $5 or $10 on that futures bets. But with our friends at Bet365, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. And right now, new customers can sign up and choose between 2 offers when they open a new account using the code PHNX365. So to sign up, you just use that code PHNX365, you deposit $10, and then you choose between either a bet and get offer where you place a bet of $5 or more and get $200 in bonus bets, or a first bet safety net offer by placing a bet up to $1,000. And if your qualifying bet loses, you receive a match refund in bonus bets. So if you want to get started, be sure to download the Bet365 app, use code PHNX365 when you sign up. Choose your offer and find out why, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Disclaimer, you must be 21 or older and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. And if you're looking for a great night out or an evening of fun, Chicken and Pickle is the place for you. It's an indoor-outdoor entertainment complex that includes a casual chef-driven restaurant and sports bar that also has pickleball courts in it, you guys, and cool yard games in their outdoor space where you can kick back and relax with your favorite friends. You can head to chickenandpickle.com to see all of the fun that you can have at their Glendale location. The Cardinals crew has had some watch parties out there already. It's been an absolute blast. We're going to have trivia and then, of course, pickleball tournaments and things of the nature. But if you are also new into pickleball and you're like unsure, they have newbie nights too. So don't worry. Chicken and Pickle literally has something for everybody. So be sure to keep an eye out for them. All right. Let's talk about Kevin Durant.
Let's do it.
Because Kevin Durant is our big, bright, shining star.
I am a big, bright, shining star.
KD finished tonight with 21 points. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Oh, and then he added in a steal as well. He was 8 of 12 from the field, 4 of 6 from deep. Gerald, like you said, Sunday wasn't KD's game, but tonight, KD came to play.
Yeah, he came out firing too. The first shot he hit was a ridiculous turnaround jumper on kind of a broken play where he was posting up on the baseline, just turned around and made a bad play look great. That's what he does. But the thing that I love is that they're involving him a lot more than we saw last year, but they're also getting him a lot of catch and shoot looks, which I know in the past when it's been, KD kind of posted up in the corner has been a point of contention for people. But a lot of this stuff, it's not just sticking KD in the corner, it's running specific actions and KD taking what is wide open, which is a catch and shoot three. If you can get a shooter like Kevin Durant open catch and shoot threes, he lives up to his nickname, Easy Money. Like, that is exactly what you want offensively. 8 of 12 from the floor, 4 of 6 from three. You love to see that. And just how many swishes he had tonight. It felt like every shot that he made was like an NBA Jam swish where it just goes right through the net. So it was good to see him bounce back from the first preseason game because, as always, some people tend to overreact to a preseason game. But Kevin Durant is still very much Kevin Durant.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I think the ball movement, the player movement that we talked about at the top of the show, I think KD is really enjoying playing in this new system, if you will, this new mindset of Suns basketball. Because I think if anybody could thrive within it and or benefit the most from it, it could be KD because, again, there was so much put on his shoulders last year. And now he's got more options. There's less that he'll have to carry.
Yeah, and to start this game, it was kind of funny because he was defensively put on Cade Cunningham because Cade has a lot of size, and it was like, okay, here we go again with KD having to take on really tough defensive matchups, and he still probably will in the starting lineup, but then you throw Ryan Dunn in the game, and it's like, oh yeah, we have this guy that can do that and spell KD a little bit on that front, which is a really nice thing to have. But yeah, I really like the offensive process so far. I like that Kevin Durant has been involved, that all the stars have been involved. That's a tough thing to balance, especially when you do have a traditional point guard now in that starting lineup, but so far it's looked good process-wise.
Another thing that I do want to kind of point out, I don't remember who it was that called this out on Twitter, but I believe it was a play where Book was in ISO, but instead of the other 4 guys on the court just kind of watching him go to work, they were moving as well, which was something we didn't really see a lot of last year. Whatever reason you want to attribute that to, this change is a welcome change.
Yeah, no, it was that play where Book was on the block, I think, posting up, and you saw guys switch places. You saw a back screen get set, and you saw Kevin Durant come over to be one pass away. And so when Book made his move and draw a second defender, KD was wide open for 3. And it's that type of low-key things that you might not really notice when you're watching the game live because you're looking at the ball. You're looking at what is Book going to do with the ball. But all this movement that's happening off the ball is exactly what freed up KD for this 3, and he drilled it. And that's the type of thinking that goes into these things that, we didn't see the movement in that way, whether it was the coaching, whether it was the players buying in, whatever you want to chalk it up to. So far, we're seeing a very different approach on that front.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else that you would like to discuss from tonight's game? Should we give a little love to Bradley Beal?
Yeah.
He had an okay game on Sunday, like you said, a little bit better tonight. Finished with those 12 points. He had 3 steals in this one, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds, 2 of 4 from deep.
Yep. He was letting it fly a little bit more than I think we saw the other night, not just in terms of attempts, but in terms of mentality and how he was attacking the first game. It felt like he pump faked and dribbled himself out of a couple of threes, got into trouble in the paint. Tonight, he was not hesitating, letting it fly. I also want to shout out, who's it? I want to shout out Royce O'Neal.
Oh, yeah.
Came in and had 11 points, got up shots. I know people are very high on Ryan Dunn, but Royce has a role to play on this team as well because he does have that 3-point ability. He's not shy about letting it fly. And
3 of 5 tonight.
Yeah, 3 of 5 from deep tonight, 4 of 6 overall. That's a useful thing to have coming off your bench.
All right, we got King Nacho. Oh my gosh, let's go back. Sorry, I know I'm derailing us. Let's take a peek at what the poll in the chat says. So far right now, we have 50, and if the math doesn't math, this is YouTube, not me. Just throwing that out there. 56% are 100% yes on the nickname Dungeon for Ryan Dunn. 19% say I like it, don't love it. 25% say next. But Nacho, you're so sassy. Said, I got it. Let's call him. Hold on, where did it go?
Dominate Dunn.
No,
Which is by far and away the funniest thing Nacho's ever said in chat. Nacho's like 1 for 1,000 as far as comments go, but that one was a grand slam with the game on the line. That's a good comment.
Dominate Dunn.
It's kind of funny, but no, Nacho, we can't do that.
I'm still disappointed that people aren't unanimously on board with the dungeon.
He's kind of almost split then.
Throw him in the dungeon.
We're basically 50-50.
Sub 60% is actually atrocious.
It makes so much sense.
So
throw him in the dungeon.
I don't know.
Lock him up.
I don't know.
That's
I
what he
think
does.
maybe we need to throw out a few more before
We're not going to do better than the dungeon, I'm telling you.
If you can give me something that stirs me viscerally like the dungeon did,
right?
I'm open to it.
I felt moved. Like watching Mike
Yes.
Budenholzer and the Suns take 46 threes, I felt moved by it.
Yeah.
Apparently, Nacho also said that Bradley Beal played good.
Yeah,
Wow. I missed
that.
He gave a half compliment towards Bradley Beal. So
Look at
new
us,
leaf
you guys,
for Nacho.
bro.
That was after he said Ryan Dunn should start
You
about 6 times.
guys.
Yeah,
but
again,
we'll take it.
yeah.
We will take the progress. Thank
We're
you, Nacho.
healing.
Steps in the
Suns-
right direction.
Suns Twitter, Suns World, we're all healing.
Look at what Mike
Look at
Budenholzer
us.
has done to us.
Oh my God.
This is great.
And the 43s, those help too.
Yeah,
you
those
know what I'm
always
Holbrook's
saying?
help.
finest, man.
Oh my gosh. Gert Jr. said Lindsay is such a hater. I'm being one right now. I'm sorry. At least I'll admit it. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, not that I meant to completely derail us there, but Gerald, is there anybody else you would like to give some love to in this one?
I feel like Colin Gillespie a little bit too, and people have brought it up. He's looked really good in preseason so far. Like we talked about this in our season previews for him. He is too good to be in the G League. The question is whether he's good enough to be like a legit NBA backup point guard. This is just preseason, and he's spending a lot of time against backup guys and third stringers, but he's looked really good. He's a smart player. He's a good shooter. He's a good floor general. He's had some really great chemistry with Oso Ighodaro, which is something that I think he and Bradley Beal and other high IQ cutters on this team are going to have. So I've been really impressed with what I've seen out of him so far too.
I love what I'm seeing from Colin Gillespie, but I hate to, again, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer.
You're in
But
your hater mode tonight.
It's not, no, I'm not hating on him at all. I've just seen a lot of people be like, I want to see more Colin Gillespie. I want to see more of all the guys that we have talked about who already are going to be struggling to find minutes on this squad. Colin Gillespie is at the top of that list, I think, unless something injury-wise happens. So I'm just saying, don't get your hopes up. Don't let Colin Gillespie be like the guy on the team that inevitably he's going to be this. Every year we have a guy I'm like, we just want to see more of him. We want to see what else he can do.
No, and
it's going to be him.
I get it. It is an exciting problem to have because last year and the year before, it's felt like we've been saying we want to see more of this guy out of necessity because the options that were ahead of them were not good. This year, I feel like we have a much better depth to where if we're saying, I want to see more of this guy, it's because they've played well, but the guy in front of them or next to them has also played well. So it's a good problem to have. It's one that, I don't envy Mike Budenholzer having to sort out. But I will say for the people that want to see more Colin Gillespie and are already saying, oh, he's better than Monte Morris or anything, Monte Morris is not going out there with the same intent right now that Colin Gillespie is for a reason. He's an established vet. He has a spot on the roster. Colin Gillespie is a two-way player who has to prove himself and take advantage of every single minute he gets. So, especially in preseason, when he gets his opportunities, you're going to see a different level of focus and hunger from a guy like a Gillespie than a Monte Morris.
He's showing you what he's capable of. This is his audition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and, if you want to see more Colin Gillespie, there's this awesome team called the Valley Suns that are going to be playing this year. And in fact, we're going to have a takeover against the Stockton Kings. Breaking news.
Let's go.
So you can come watch Colin Gillespie with all of us on Monday, November 11th. Just go to gophnx.com. Get all the details. Just wanted to throw that in there.
But real quick, not to gloss over the situation that is happening when we are going to be out there. We're going to be center court, 6 rows up. We're going to be in the best seats in the house.
Yeah.
Basically.
In a
this
really
is the
awesome
season
environment.
opener, great environment. This is one takeover you do not want to miss. Plus, we're going to have pregame festivities as well with all of our takeovers. If you've never been to a takeover, this is a great introduction into them. We'll also announce our Suns takeovers later on here in just a few days, weeks, whatever. I don't know, at some point in time. But this one's live, so you can get your tickets right now. And remember, if you are a diehard, you get a discount on all of our ticketed events.
Yep.
Be a part of history. First game in Valley Suns history.
Yeah.
Be a part of that and be a part of it with us. Guys, the chat wants you to talk about Frank Kaminsky.
Do they?
Yes.
Frank.
Everybody.
We love Frank.
We love
3
Frank.
points. 1 of 4 tonight. 1 of 4 from deep tonight. But he got a rebound and a block in there as well. Only played 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Frank. You don't have to convince me to give Frank the 15th roster spot. I'm on board already.
I was glad he knocked down that last one because it felt like he had missed 2 or 3
Couple
on the
clunkies.
same possession, and they were open. So I'm glad he knocked down the last one. Hopefully he's proving himself in training camp. I thought he was good the other night, not as great tonight, but there is that 15th roster spot that's open. So you never know. It could be for a two-way guy. It could be they leave it open to maintain their flexibility for a trade or a buyout signing midseason, or they could give it to a guy like a Frank Kaminsky. But we will have to wait and see. He's going to have to make the most of his preseason opportunities. And I think over the next 3 games, he might get more, especially we assume at some point starters, big 3 will probably sit one of these games out at some point, I would imagine.
Yeah. Nate said Frank trying so hard to get that 3. Glad he got it.
He was.
But that's what I get why he's taking so many as well in the preseason. That's what kind of sets him aside from what else we have in that position on this squad so far. That's kind of his biggest selling point, or one of the bigger selling points anyway. Frank brings a little bit of a difference in that role. Okay. On the other side, we have some cool things to share with you guys. One more thing from the chat, though, real quick. Where did it go? Lucas said, I've had those exact seats that I was talking about for the Valley Suns takeovers for Yotes games, and they are great seats, is what Lucas says. So I wasn't lying. I'm telling you for real. Anyway, go PHNX.com. Okay, one more quick break, and then we will come right back. It's, the beginning-ish of the week, about to be the middle of the week. And usually that's the time where I'm like, okay, I probably should get gas and maybe need a little bit of a pick-me-up to get me through the rest of the week. Suns preseason has helped out a lot with that this week. But my go-to spot is usually Circle K. Shocker, because Circle K is the best place in town. It's America's thirst stop. So you can get your Polar Pops, you can get your Frosters. I know I'm wearing a hoodie or a sweatshirt, but it's still hot here in Phoenix. Summer won't go away, so those Frosters still hit. And of course, Circle K is the best spot to be because their new free membership program, Inner Circle. First and foremost, when you join the Inner Circle, you're going to save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You save 3 cents per gallon every single day. And there are plenty of other exclusive member deals and discounts, like the member exclusive beverage deal. Inner Circle members like you can get any size Polar Pop or Froster for just 79 cents. So join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Gerald, do you like local brands?
Yeah, I love local brands.
We love supporting local brands. Branded Bills is a local company from Mesa, Arizona, and you can elevate your brand with branded bills like this cool hat that Gerald has here. Thanks for the assist, Eric.
There we go.
It's the perfect headwear and apparel, whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, tees. Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style.
I don't think I've ever seen Gerald in a hat before.
I don't think I have either. I've seen you in a beanie, but not a hat.
Not a hat guy.
It looks good though. Branded
But
Bills
honestly,
looks
if
good
there
on
was
you.
a hat you could pull off, it's the Branded Bills hat
Comfy,
because
ain't
they're
it?
that good.
It's very comfy.
Yes. So you can head to brandedbills.com. You can use code PHNX for 20% off your first order. So take advantage of the discount. Gerald, you should get yourself a Branded Bills hat.
I have one.
Oh, well, there you go.
I
You
have
should
that
wear it
very
more.
one.
You should wear it more.
I should.
20% off PHNX. Okay. We did see one really cool thing. Tonight's preseason game, or today's preseason game, I suppose, was played at Michigan State.
Yes.
Matt Ishbia's alma mater. Devin Booker seemed like he was right at home, even though he didn't go to Michigan State. But he did do a really cool thing. He rolled up and he gifted the team Michigan State inspired book ones to the MSU basketball team. This is really cool.
Those are really nice looking. I'm not a green guy or a Michigan State guy, but like those look really nice, honestly.
I agree. Like some of the colorways I've been a huge fan of. Some of them I've been a little like questionable on. I know these have absolutely nothing to do with Suns colors, but I think these might be one of my favorite ones.
Those are real. I mean,
I'm pretty sure they're exclusive to the MSU basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, this was really cool. It was awesome seeing on Book's IG that like Tom Izzo just walking around in his book ones and giving them to the team and taking a photo with the team. That was a really cool crossover because I know that Book, obviously being from Michigan, how much being in that area means to him, and Matt Ishbia, obviously being the Michigan State guy. It was a really cool kind of crossover thing that they were able to do, and those shoes look really nice.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of them. If they didn't have the mascot, though, it was Sparky, right? On the side, I would want a pair of these. But
Sparty?
Sparty. There you go.
Sparty.
Sorry,
Sparky's
ASU.
just a superior school's mascot.
It is. My bad. You know what I
Easy
meant.
to get mistaken.
It's a superior
Easy.
mascot. I don't.
Hey.
Easy now, Gerald.
In innovation, yes.
Are we literally all ASU?
Yeah,
grads?
we are. Number one in innovation.
Listen.
That's right.
Back like 2 decades ago or a decade ago, ASU was a party school. I get it. They actually have some pretty highly acclaimed schools. That's all I'm saying.
I don't really think not to get us too off topic, I don't really think ASU is a party school.
No, not anymore.
That's crazy.
I mean, it is, but it's not like it was a while ago.
I don't even think that a while ago it really...
Well, just because you didn't go out to party,
it was just the undie run that gave them the reputation. They didn't even have Greek life.
They did have Greek life.
Barely.
This is
it was like
a
off
topic.
campus and it was kind of random.
This is an after show topic, but you are kind of off on that one.
Okay, whatever you say. Whatever you say. Anyway, back to the book ones. Super cool of Devin to do this. And it was just kind of cool that both teams agreed to have this game at Michigan State as well, because, I mean, cool for Detroit and also Matt Ishbia, but also Devin Booker too, who basically like a homecoming of sorts for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was neat that they were able to put this together and give us one extra preseason basketball game.
Yeah, it was a really cool event. Cool shoes, cool promotion as always. I did get word for the people that were asking in the chat about Damian Lee and what happened with him. Yeah. It looked like he took a shot from Ron Holland. I couldn't tell if it was the groin or to the quad or the leg or what. But he was defending a layup, took a shot, left the game, left the bench, but he is all right. Someone told me that he's fine, so hopefully nothing bad with Damian Lee.
Okay, good, because I was going to say that's literally like the worst thing ever.
Trust me, today was the Damian Lee season preview over at gophnx.com and on our YouTube channel, so I would have hated everything if on the very day when that drops, that happens. So
oh my gosh.
Good to know that Damian Lee is fine.
Yes. Okay. We have 2 additional super chats here real quick. The first one comes from, I don't know how would you say that?
Beyond Entertainment.
Beyond Entertainment?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for your super chat. They said Eric needs more minutes. He's great on the show.
Is he our Colin Gillespie? He needs more minutes.
Eric is our Colin Gillespie of the season?
Pull him up from the G League. He's ready, coach.
Or is he our Bobo?
Is he our Bobo?
I think I'm a Ryan Dunn build.
You're a Ryan Dunn build? Okay.
What's that look for, Lindsay?
I feel like maybe... How?
I don't know.
You're not a rookie anymore. You're already a year in.
That's true.
So
this is my sophomore season.
It is. It's your sophomore season. I think you're just ready. I don't know.
I mean,
that's why I feel like Bobo makes more sense.
I'm more like, Chimezi Metu.
Oh, God.
I don't like
you don't
that
want to be
either.
Maybe a little more
That's
Udoka
kind of rude to
Azubuike.
yourself.
We're not trying to trade you in a couple months.
What about a Tumani Kamara?
Yeah, I'm more like a Dwayne Washington Jr.
Oh, no, not Tumani. We never got to see what Tumani could be.
I would love to be Tumani.
I mean,
but everyone
great.
loved Tumani still.
Yeah, but he don't play for us no more.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm just like in the grand scheme of things, like sophomore season, everyone is excited.
I'm Mirza Teletovic.
Of course you are.
You can't be.
Of course you are.
Your hair's not good enough.
That is true. I'll tell you what, that is very true.
No one's hair is, to be fair.
Facts. Leo sent us a super chat and said, I agree, Eric is the man. Give him that final roster spot. Listen, we are looking for our 15th man, so we'll just have to keep you posted. I guess we'll find out
I guess we will.
checks calendar, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Suns regular season is here.
Yeah.
Well, we should know maybe by then. Well, yeah, at the very least, if they're going to keep it open, right?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. So Michael Ramirez sent us a super chat. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate you. Said, it's crazy how much better Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro appear with the real squad. Mason Plumlee is going to lose minutes to Oso and Royce O'Neal minutes to Ryan Dunn. It appears KD has taken a liking to the young Suns.
Absolutely. And this is something we talked about at Summer League a lot. Their coach, Vince LaGarza, had said a lot of the things that these guys do, it's not going to show up on a Summer League stage with a lot of new teammates and not the same level of talent. It is going to show up when they start playing the real games with the real team. And so far, we've seen exactly that. So I'm encouraged by that for sure.
Yeah. And also, who better to learn from than a guy like Kevin Durant, right? I feel like if there is one guy on our squad, I'm not saying you can't learn from the others, okay? But that one at the top of the list is KD, that if he comes to you and he takes a liking to you and he wants to help you grow and develop,
yeah,
you're in the best position that you could have asked for.
Super
honestly.
validating.
Yeah, 100%. All right, that'll do it for us on the post-game edition tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us. Shout out to the Suns for giving us another great win to celebrate with some sexy sacks and together. We'll be back tomorrow with a 3 p.m. show for you, so plan to come hang out with us then. And be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you're here with us on YouTube. Rate, review, subscribe, wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, follow the show on social at PHNX_Suns. You can also follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Eric at Eric Ruby with a K. And, of course, you can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. Gerald, you want to say something?
Yeah, shameless self-plug. Go to gophnx.com, read the Damian Lee article, go to our YouTube page, look at the Damian Lee season video breakdown. Again, this guy has a perspective that is just completely different, and I think his story and the things that he had to say are worth telling. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.